NDA says we've been proven right. Congress party is wrong. Congress says if anybody's been proven wrong, it's the BJP. We were only following them. TSR Subramaniam, my first question is to you. Welcome Suresh Prabhu, former Power Minister, GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP and Ami Agnik of the Congress. Mr. Subramaniam, former Cabinet Secretary, first question to you. Has this Supreme Court judgment proven that all of them are wrong? And both the Congress and the BJP are indirectly part of the coal scam, or Coalgate, as we call it.
I think we have to see this judgment, Arnab, in perspective. I think the court has said that all allotments from 1993 are illegal. By definition, the Supreme Court is correct.
Yeah.
It also has traced the illegality to the acts of 1948 and the acts of 1973. Now, normally, this illegality would not have surfaced but for the CAG report, but for the way Times Now, I remember that particular day when it discussed right here.
Yes.
It was taken up in a huge way at that time, and also the PAL that came. Now, any normal illegality without any mens rea, without any negative intentions, normally would have been settled through a retrospective act to regularize. It could have happened. Unfortunately, what happened in the last 7-8 years, 03, 04 to 09, the crony capitalism, don't forget, premium came only in 2003, 2004, exactly like in the 2G case. All the allocations of the 90s were to specific companies. They were not multiple applicants, unlike later stages when 50, 60 people applied for the same block. It was to one person each, to a company which was existing. By and large, I don't want to be definitive about it, you can't attribute motives at that particular point of time. It was the time of the fast track courts, time of the coal linkage. They were given to private companies, legally or illegally it was given. So the mens rea is very important. Actually, the huge huge bonuses, the huge selectivity, the windfall profits, all of them came in the last 100 allotments after Parakh had pointed out illegality. Parakh had seen the amount of premium which had come. So I see a huge qualitative difference.
No, but you can't argue saying
before 2003.
But you can't argue saying you gave more blocks, I gave less blocks, you were little worse, I was little better. It's
I'm
like
not saying
no. I'm not saying you're saying. You've been one of the crusaders in this. But it's like saying that, I made little money, you made a lot of money. You know what I mean, GVL Narasimha Rao. You're all the same, aren't you? 33 coal blocks allocated during the NDA government, and let the Congress party not think they will get away. Between 1998 and 2004,
no.
146 between 2006 and 2010 when UPA was in power. All of them have been declared illegal by the Supreme Court. Now, you can trade allegations of the illegality of the coal block allotments, but the findings of the Supreme Court expose that both of you are on the same page, Mr. Rao. Both of you are on the same page, both you and the Congress.
The judgment. No, absolutely not. I think the court itself, in the order, in the judgment, makes a clear distinction. I think pre-2004, I think the court divides all the allotments into 3 or 4 periods. And in the pre-2004 allotment, every allotment has been done based on merit, based on examination.
Don't give me a subjective view.
And a case-by-case evaluation. No, this is the court's verdict. This is not, I don't think you can really comment on it.
The court has ruled all allocations. The court has ruled all allocations from 1993 onwards, effectively including the NDA regime, to be illegal. Don't you know that?
But there is no mala fide. It is the UPA term allocation. I think the allocations are considered to be mala fide.
Look at the specifics. Haven't you seen the judgment?
You will realize.
Haven't you seen the judgment?
I have seen all the judgments.
No, one second. Suresh Prabhu.
I have it in front of me.
Suresh Prabhu, will you please want to...
I have the judgment.
Suresh Prabhu, do you want to correct the BJP spokesman?
From the judgment.
One second. Suresh Prabhu can correct you.
No, I want to read from the excerpt.
You can read later. Suresh Prabhu will correct you because he may be from the NDA, but he is objective in this manner. I hope so. He will correct
No,
you
but
now.
let's read from the judgment.
He will correct. Yes, we can read from the
let's not
judgment.
give our own
One second,
verdict.
Suresh Prabhu, would you like to correct the BJP spokesperson, who feels that there is nothing wrong in the Supreme Court judgment, that the court has said nothing wrong happened in the NDA tenure?
Absolutely, I think that's a fact.
Let
this is
Suresh Prabhu
basically-
correct you.
No, why don't you
No,
read
the
from
court-
the judgment if you have any portions that really indict
The-
the...
I want Suresh Prabhu to correct you.
No, see, the Honorable Supreme Court judgment is very clear. It talks about a period in which the complete norms that were decided by the screening committee, which are not followed, and therefore the Supreme Court has clearly talked about a period. The Supreme Court is not talking about India or UPA. Supreme Court is talking about clearly about a period in which there was the complete collapse of system in terms of the scrutiny that was
Does
supposed
that
to be made.
include the
And therefore,
Vajpayee regime?
It's a very clear.
Does that include the Vajpayee regime?
No, actually, to best of my knowledge, no.
No, that's where you are wrong. That's where you are wrong. Sorry, Suresh Prabhu, you are wrong. It says from the 1st to the 21st meeting, July 14, 2003 to August 3rd, 2003. And it says that in this period, the screening committee kept on varying the guidelines from meeting to meeting. It failed to adhere to any transparent system. You haven't read the judgment, Mr. Rao?
No, I have the judgment. It talks about, it clearly spells out that during the NDA
What are you
period,
talking about?
whatever allotments have been done, they have been done based on an evaluation, and all the records are available in the way of minutes of the meetings. It was during the UPA term. There are no record of minutes of the meeting. There is no evaluation of different
Mr. Narasimha Rao, you're wrong. Narasimha Rao, you're wrong. Mr. Narasimha Rao, you're wrong. I correct you now. It is said from the Supreme Court judgment.
If you have a judgment, Arnab, if you have a copy of the judgment, I draw your attention to the page 57.
You have a copy of the judgment? You have a copy of the judgment? You have a copy of the judgment? I draw your attention.
Yes, I do.
I draw your attention to the specifics of what the Supreme Court said about allocations during your tenure. Specifically, I'd like to draw your judgment to what it says about the 1st to the 21st meeting and what it says about the following. I'm now reading, and correct me if I'm wrong. And if you are wrong, you must admit it. It says certain blocks with coal reserves on the higher side were recommended to the companies with lower requirement. There were no steps or measures taken to prevent possible misuse of end-use project of private companies. For example, MS Prakash Industries, being a BIFR company, was denied a coal block earlier. However, the screening committee recommended Chotia 1 and 2 coal blocks to MS Prakash Industries Limited in 2003. For its proposed expansion project of the 0.4 MTPA sponge iron, though the company was having capacity of only 0.3 MTPA. Now I ask you, who was in power in 2003? Come on, tell me.
No, obviously.
No, what is no?
But
You can say that you are wrong.
Guidelines that were followed. There were specific guidelines that were followed.
But the Supreme Court doesn't think so. Who are you to say that? Supreme Court doesn't say so. Who are you to say that?
I'm saying that the Supreme Court judgment clearly spells out that in the UPA term, it was the allocation was made to shady companies.
143, page number 143. Sir, read before you speak. Page number 143.
No. Look at the picture.
Page number 143.
Look at the picture. I think the very clear motive is clear. I'm drawing your attention to a picture of somebody investigated in the coal scam being received by a state dignitary by none less than the Congress president.
Ami Agnik.
By the advisor to the political advisor to the Congress president.
Ami Agnik thinks she's got away. Ami Agnik feels today that with the focus on the BJP, she has got away. Ami Agnik, should your Prime Minister come and take responsibility? Because, you have just been totally... I saw that. Ami Agnik, the Supreme Court judgment has completely exposed your UPA 1 and 2 governments. Thoroughly. At least today, I just want you to begin by saying, we carried out one of the biggest scams in the country called the coal scam. Just say that, please, before you begin. I want to hear you say that.
I think by using the word scam and gate and putting all these suffixes, I think we are doing a little
No,
kind
what should
of
I say? Should I call it coal curry?
Juggling between words.
Should I call it coal
Well,
curry?
No. You may call what you may Arnav. Let us keep the debate to the legalities of the matter. We may not go into all this legal the jargon of words.
Okay.
I am just saying that the Supreme Court has given a very lengthy and a very direct,
I know all that. Come to the point
judgment.
now. Come to the
Of
point.
course,
Please
it
don't
is
waste
saying
time. Come to the
very
point.
clearly-
No, come.
very
You said
clearly-
legal. We'll have a
very-
legal debate. Come to the point.
Very clearly that the procedures were not followed in the way they should have been followed, and so all the blocks which are
Do you think?
decided were
Do you
illegally
think?
decided
Do
by
you
the
think?
Supreme Court and
Do you
said.
think a
Now,
man
if you
called V.
want to-
Narayan Swamy, 1 second, who is a supremely arrogant Congress politician from Pondicherry, right, who was then in the Prime Minister's office, lied when he said that allocations were done in a transparent manner, because I can read out the number of times that you said that the screening committee was effective and transparent. You want to contrast that with what the Supreme Court has said? What does the Supreme Court say? What does the Supreme Court say?
I think no one in this country can comment on the conclusions and the verdict of
Sure, so you
honorable
accept it.
apex
So does the
court.
Supreme
So
Court
you
say?
may not start a
Does the
coordinate-
Supreme
you
Court
may not
say?
start a coordinate
Does the
venture on
Supreme
the
Court
media.
say?
I am
Answer the
just
question.
pointing out
Answer
that
the question.
that the honorable
Answer the question. I am tired of this. In 2012, repeatedly your party spokespersons came and abused the media for doing its job. I have not forgotten that. I want you tonight to accept that you were wrong and we were right. Accept that. Accept
Well,
that.
let the Supreme Court. No. There is no question of accepting or denying. The verdict has to be accepted by everyone. Now the necessary procedure will follow.
Does the Supreme
This
Court verdict
government
prove you
will
wrong?
Follow whatever has fallen from
Does the
honorable
Supreme Court
apex
verdict
court.
prove you wrong?
But yeah. Yes. No.
What do you mean
Supreme
yes and no
Court
at the
has
same
said that
time?
The procedures have not been followed from 1993.
Not procedures,
since
Ms.
Captain
Subramaniam,
Coal
GVL
mining
Narasimha
policy
Rao,
has
the
come
debate is
into
an open
action.
debate. The Congress party
Supreme Court-
spokesperson wants to hide behind this whole
Supreme Court has taken
ridiculous,
note of
strange,
also the
shallow argument of
mineral
procedures.
policy, the reports of the high-level committee.
Please, Mr. Subramaniam, don't give me reports of the high level
Can you
committee,
please
Mr.
let me
Subramaniam.
complete?
1 second,
No,
please.
please
Mr.
let me
TSR
complete.
Subramaniam. Mr.
Arnav,
TSR,
the fact is,
I think
Supreme Court has pointed out
Yeah.
there were no procedures.
Yeah.
But for the 1992 notification of coal linkage to power projects extended to cement and iron, these were not really legal under the 4873 Acts. So the sad fact is no procedures right through. But the Supreme Court has divided it into 4 separate parts up to 1998, 1998 to 2001, 2000 to 2003, 2003 to 2009. The first 3 periods up to 2003 at least were followed the notification linkage guidelines. The subsequent ones just did not have any guidelines whatever.
Yeah.
These guidelines have now proven to be
And that
illegal.
is-
That's a different question.
And they
But
kept
at least it
changing
was
from
linkage
meeting to meeting.
to be given to coal, to be given to power or so, whatever. They have been abused separately. But the fact is, the ones which were 2003 to 2008 completely arbitrary, 2000 to 2003 were marginal, before 2000 could be justified to be
A simple question.
more or less bona fide.
A simple question. 1 second. GVL Narasimha Rao wants to come in. I asked the second question to the Congress party, and I can see tonight Ami Yagnik is struggling with her own words. What did the Congress say? There is no violation.
Not at all.
There is
Arnav.
no wrongdoing.
You are not allowing me to complete.
There is no scam.
You are not allowing
There
me to
is no
complete.
scam.
That is the issue.
You said.
No, that
you
is
said
the issue.
there is no scam. Please
Of
read
course.
the Supreme
Now,
Court judgment.
There has been irregularity.
Irregularities are your words. That's not what the Supreme Court says. The Supreme Court says respect the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court has said the procedures have not been followed.
The Supreme Court says-
judgment they have not been followed.
The
was the case with the
screening committee
UPA.
has
The
not adhered
Supreme
to
Court
certain
says-
principles
the
and has not followed. But
You-
I think
you
you
said-
should read
you
the
said-
judgment point by point.
Second point, Ami Yagnik, let me complete. You said there are no violations. Now contrast this with some of the companies who were given coal. The Supreme Court says, and you need to hear it, most of the companies, not some, who were allocated coal blocks were not engaged in the production of steel, power or cement at the time of the allocations or the applications made by them. Any disclosure was made whether or not the power, steel or cement plant was operational. You forgot that? The entire allocation suffered from the vice of arbitrariness. You won't mention that. There was no evaluation of merit. You won't accept that. The determination was subjective. You will hide that.
When the Supreme, when
I am
the
reading from the Supreme Court judgment.
Arna, 1 minute. When the Honorable Court has come to these conclusions on the basis of records, the action will now be followed and will be taken up by the present government.
So what
But
action?
You don't forget
do you think
that the
Manmohan
Honorable
Singh should
Prime
face a
Minister Dr.
criminal case
Manmohan
now?
Singh had said that he is open for examination by the CBI.
All
But that
right,
did not
so you
happen.
are saying
Why don't
tonight
you
the Congress party
conveniently forget all
spokesperson,
these things?
this is a big
And
comment.
you have seen the,
It's a very major
and you have
comment.
seen
The Congress
FIR
party spokesperson says, GVL Narasimha Rao, that Manmohan Singh should be investigated by the CBI.
Arnav, you have to listen
The
to
Congress
me.
party
You have to see
spokesperson
the
says
charge
Manmohan
sheet
Singh should be
where
investigated by the CBI.
has mentioned unknown public servants. Where are those public servants? Why are they not named as accused by the
shout.
CBI?
I think it's a very important
Why are you
comment.
only taking
When a
names of
Congress
the-
party,
of
this
the
is
Prime
breaking
Minister?
news, when a Congress party spokesperson says on the Newshour that Manmohan Singh should be investigated by the CBI, I think it's admitting a lot. It comes close to admitting
I
that
didn't say
Manmohan
that.
Singh was one of the
I didn't say
principal
that.
protagonists of the Coalgate
The
scam.
Coal
And Manmohan
Secretary,
Singh was not.
GVL Narasimha
what
Rao,
are you
please.
talking,
Yes, please.
Arnav?
Let's get him
Don't
on.
twist words.
Why you just
Don't
said it?
twist words, Arnav.
I think
Please don't
Dr.
twist words.
Manmohan
Let it be a
Singh
proper
was
debate.
not the one who was in
No, no,
command
don't
of the
let it be a proper
situation.
debate.
I think he was also the coal minister for some time, but on whose orders and for what
Everyone
consideration
knows that, Mr. Nasir.
these orders, these kind of
Everyone knows that.
allocations were done is something that needs to be, that will come out. And I think we are, you see, during the UPA term, the recommendations of the state governments have not been sought, have not been used. The recommendations of the concerned administrative
They were
departments
sitting
have
on
not
the
been
committee.
taken. The
They were sitting
allocations
on the
have been
state level
arbitrary,
committee.
and a lot of shady companies have been given. And I've shown one picture of that similar acquisition that existed during the UPA term.
Are you saying Sonia Gandhi should be investigated? Are you saying Sonia Gandhi should be investigated
No,
for
I'm
the
saying
Coalgate?
the whole matter will, I think, as the CBI, I think following this Supreme Court direction, I think the requisite investigations will carry on.
Ami Agnik, you say Manmohan Singh should be investigated by the CBI. Very important. Very important.
I didn't
Why
say
don't
that.
you just said it?
I didn't say that.
You just said
I
it.
said while in office, Dr. Manmohan Singh said that he is open for examination before the CBI.
Right.
But it did not happen.
So-
you have not looked at the FIRs. The FIRs mention the companies,
Because you never
but do
allowed
not
the
mention
CBI
the
to
bureaucrats
function
who were
independently.
sitting in the screening committee. No, Arnav.
What about
Don't
the
be
Prime Minister of
convenient in
India?
your argument.
What about the then
Please
Prime
don't
Minister
be
of India?
convenient. You
Was
have
it
to
true
give
or
the
not?
whole picture.
Was it true or
You
not?
have to give the whole picture.
Well, I'm giving the whole picture. Suresh Prabhu, was it true or not that Sabwat Khan Sahai was allowed to get a license for his brother back in 2008? Do we need any more proof, Mr. Prabhu, of how
very
arbitrary
clearly-
the process was?
No, it is very clearly, Supreme Court has come down very heavily on the process not being followed, which was not transparent, and also in a way that the guideline, so that particular period in which there is a complete collapse of system is a period in which whoever has been the minister is obviously responsible.
So, Ami Yagnik, last question here. That ridiculous comment by Mr. Chidambaram, I think. If coal is not mined, the great Mr. Chidambaram says, if coal remains buried in Mother Earth, where is the loss? Remember that, Mr. Subramaniam?
Yes, I've written about it.
Remember that, Mr. Subramaniam?
I've written about it.
Yeah.
I've written strongly about it.
Yeah, so should Ami Yagnik today apologize on behalf of Mr. Chidambaram? Have you read the Supreme Court judgment on that, which says, assuming that the central government has the competence to make allocation of coal blocks, the next question is whether such allocation confers any valuable right amounting to largesse?
It was largesse. It's the same kind of comment of zero loss by somebody else on 2G. It's exactly the same kind of comment.
Where the Supreme Court says.
Arnab, there are two separate aspects here. On 1st September, one hopes a sensible solution how to handle the companies will come. But the separate chapter of attributing responsibility should not stop. It is important, like in the 2G case, some nexus some transactions, hopefully CBI will find out and then pursue them. It is important from the public policy perspective that so much of windfall profits have been generated, they should not vanish into thin air.
And Ami Yagnik, what did the court say? The court said we are unable to accept the submission of the learned Attorney General that the allocation of coal block does not amount to grant of largesse.
That was, Arnav, that was said in the light that when an allocation is made, it is a letter of intent. It is not a license.
Don't
statement.
interpret and don't insult the Supreme Court. Don't insult the Supreme Court on national television.
It was a statement made in that light, but the Honorable Court has not accepted that. It was a statement to show how the procedures take place. I think, Arnav, you please look at the whole thing right from 1993, from the mining policy to the MMRD Act, and to the screening committee, and to the formation of state level committees, to the high level committees on energy.
I give the last word to GVL Narasimha Rao. You don't even know the Supreme Court judgment because it says.
The whole thing in a holistic way.
What holistic way?
Before coming to any conclusions on your channel.
I'm just revealing all your lies over the last 2 years.
Don't just put it on the UPA.
I'm not. I'm not. You were warned. You were warned about how opaque your screening committee was.
No, you are putting it.
I'm not.
Always.
You have let down the country.
You take the holistic view.
You have let down the country.
You look at the whole judgment.
What whole judgment? Coal production has not even begun in most of the blocks allocated. Industry has suffered. The people have suffered.
Exactly.
And you won't even apologize.
Look at the purport. The 1993 policy was brought in order to open this sector for privatization to state level units. Along with
Miss Yagnik, Miss Yagnik, Miss Yagnik, you just
the NDA followed a path which it did not have screening committees nor advertisements.
Take a deep breath, Miss Yagnik. Take a deep breath, Miss Yagnik. Take a deep breath, Miss Yagnik.
What are you talking?
Take a deep breath, Miss Yagnik, and ask yourself if you're right.
You are always picking up convenient things which you want to ask.
I am not. I am telling you there was a coal scam.
And you better admit it. You are taking convenient things.
There was a Coalgate. There was a Coalgate, and I thought at least today you would admit.
Coalgate, there were irregularities as observed by the Honorable Apex Court.
Well, we
have to accept the verdict because the court has gone into all the record of the matter right from 1993 till today.
Miss Yagnik, this whole story is going to be unraveled like the peels of an onion because you lied so much in 2012.
Sure.
You insulted our reporters. You questioned our journalism when we asked those questions. You called the media names. Your arrogant ministers, your arrogant ministers at that point of time would say we don't.
No one has ever said anything about journalists.
You said, and your arrogant ministers, you question the professional ethics of my reporters. And tonight, I thought you would have the humility to accept your fault.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm saying that. I'm saying that. We'll see where this
We have always respected journalists. We have given them extreme credit for whatever work they are doing. Marvelous work. So don't say that. Don't mix up the issues.
Thank you. We exposed 7 scams against you. And I'm glad you've begun respecting us after being reduced to 44. Thank you very much for joining me on debate number 3 on the Newshour tonight.